When we look at the year 2021 in the National Assembly, two major issues defined Parliament: the enactment of the Petroleum Industry Bill and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Now, these two pieces of legislation caused huge disagreements in both chambers of the National Assembly and caused heated discussions in the public space. The Petroleum Industry Bill lingered in the National Assembly for more than a decade. The Ninth Assembly broke the jinx with the passage of the bill and eventual assent by President Buhari. However, it was indeed a tumultuous journey for the legislation in 2021.
What I'm asking for.
The bone of contention in the PIB was a percentage fixed for developing host communities to be derived from the operating cost of oil companies. The two chambers of a National Assembly passed the PIB, with the Senate making a provision of 3% of operating cost of oil companies for host communities, while the House passed 5%. In the harmonized report, the 3% for host communities was adopted, to the vexation of Niger Delta lawmakers in both chambers and interest groups. On August the 16th, 2021, President Buhari signed the Petroleum Industry Bill into law and has since forwarded amendments of the legislation to the National Assembly. But no legislation caused as much disagreement in Parliament and sparked discussions across the country in 2021 as the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The bill is intended to sanitize Nigeria's electoral processes. Two clauses in the bill ended up becoming the most contentious: electronic transmission of results and method of party primaries. The passage of the legislation was, however, preceded by disagreement among lawmakers over Section 52(3) of the bill dealing with electronic transmission of results. This clause caused a sharp split among lawmakers from the ruling party and the opposition, and a division was called, the first in the Ninth Assembly.
Therefore, vote yes to electronic transmission of results, because that is what Nigerians want.
I vote no, just to allow INEC to do the best job for Nigeria. Thank you.
The opposition was defeated, and the Senate amended the clause empowering the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and the National Assembly to determine the use of electronic transmission during elections. Lawmakers and House of Reps almost came to blows debating Section 52(3), but the House eventually gave INEC the powers to determine the method of transmission of election results.
My name on the defense.
Surprisingly, on October the 12th, the Senate bowed to public pressure and rescinded its earlier decision on electronic transmission, thereby giving electoral body INEC the power to determine the method. Both houses also adopted direct primaries for selecting candidates by political parties. This set them against governors who are in support of indirect primaries. And this ultimately reached a crescendo with President Buhari declining assent on the bill, leaving the nation uncertain as to the future of this all-important legislation. The Senate also rejected the nomination of Loretta Onochie as INEC National Commissioner representing Delta State for contravening federal character principles. The Gender Equality Bill also suffered a setback in the upper chamber, as some lawmakers said it offends their religious beliefs. The National Assembly also approved the loan request from President Buhari, running into trillions of naira, a situation which unsettled some Nigerians.
You have to listen. It's a fact. You represent the people, even if it means having a public hearing for those who are applying for this loan to come and speak about it.
The House of Representatives devoted a huge amount of time during the year to discuss the security crisis in the country. My colleague Terry Ikumi tells us more from the House.
You're absolutely correct, Linda. There was hardly a plenary day without the issue of insecurity. And to take it a step further, the House organized a special national summit on security, and that report has been submitted to the President. The House of Representatives passed bills to establish development commissions in all regions of the country. The House also passed the Climate Change Bill, as well as the controversial Infectious Diseases Bill, which stakeholders had condemned during the public hearing last year. The passage of the bill came about 17 months after the conclusion of the public hearing. Before its passage on the 21st of December 2021, here's what the Speaker had to say.
Our good faith efforts were willfully mischaracterized by individuals who saw the moment as an opportunity to score cheap political points and earn the passing accolades of the ignorant and misinformed.
The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives came under fire for refusing to accept a petition from a group of Nigerians in diaspora. Towards the end of 2021, the House began investigating the activities of real estate developers in the country, following numerous petitions from Nigerians alleging fraud. However, the efficacy of these investigations by the National Assembly is being questioned.
Several committee legislative investigations were started, and Nigerians were interested in these investigations, but eventually nothing came out of these investigations as far as informing the public about the outcomes of these several investigations.
Stepping into an election year, it is expected that lawmakers will not abandon their primary responsibility of lawmaking to focus on politics. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.